Hey everybody, Noble Comics here, and we're talking about Captain America, which if you've been following
any Captain America stories, it's been, I think, a few years, this one going. It's been pretty bad. Not a great run, but this has been a particularly interesting development. Captain America goes to war with Jordan Peterson. If you saw this, may have seen it on Twitter where this is all going down. Is Ta-Nehisi Coates, who's just a race baiter, super liberal, writing Captain America, of course. And this is all on Vice, by the way. I know it's a garbage website, but I thought I'd get their biased perspective on all this to go through it. Is basically equating the Red Skull with Jordan Peterson. And if you don't know, they changed the Red Skull around. He went from the Nazi leader that Captain America fought in the 40s and main villain. So now he's like an internet blogger who just posts videos and stuff. He's like a YouTuber. And if you've been following anything that the far left has said, anybody who promotes any ideas on social media or anything like that, in the real world, anybody who promotes anything right of the far left, they're just Nazi, branded Nazi. You've definitely seen it. Everything's a Nazi. Everybody's a Nazi nowadays. Especially if you're even mildly to the right. And one of the biggest targets has been Jordan Peterson. For reasons that are still unknown to me. Because anyone who's listened to Peterson at all knows that he's the opposite of a Nazi, and that all of his beliefs and all of the ideas that he's talked about through his hundreds and hundreds of hours of lectures and interviews is all about personal responsibility. It's all about trying to resolve conflict and make peace and be better people. It's the exact opposite of like some Nazi propaganda. But Ta-Nehisi Coates doesn't see it that way. And you can see here the Red Skull is basically depicted as the ideas of Jordan Peterson. You see 10 Rules for Life, like Jordan Peterson's book 12 Rules for Life, Chaos and Order, and Jordan Peterson often talks about order and chaos. That's what 12 Rules for Life is about. Greatly is about finding the balance between order and chaos. Carl Luger's Genius, I don't really get the reference there, but then the feminist trap, because Jordan Peterson will talk about modern feminism and the faults and the kind of nonsensical ideas that some of them carry. But he's been perfectly upfront about the fact that many of the people that he helps through his career as a clinical psychologist are women, and he helps them become more assertive, helps them get better jobs, better pay. The farthest thing from some far-right Nazi that you could get. But the left just can't accept it. But they've basically turned Jordan Peterson into the Red Skull, which just tells you what they think about conservatives. Because if Peterson is the biggest Nazi, imagine what they think about, just the average person. We're 80 million Americans. So I'll read a little bit of the article. The controversial Canadian psychologist, and then here, a prominent figure of the so-called intellectual dark web. I have never heard that in my life. I've been listening to Peterson for years at this point, and I've never heard that he is a figure of the intellectual dark web. I don't know what the hell that is. That sounds like, I don't know, some sort of straw man something. And yeah, he thinks that they're satirizing in this city. I think he's exaggerating his own influence, but the comic is making fun of people like him. No, that's directly taking his ideas, 10 Rules for Life, 12 Rules for Life, directly. And this is what they think that he is. A certain type of internet influencer wields a powerful and dangerous notions of masculinity, tradition, and patriotism to their own benefit to stoke reactionary fires. That's what they think Peterson is. And again, anyone who has ever heard anything Jordan Peterson has had to say knows that that's bullshit. He is does not give dangerous notions of masculinity or tradition. He is a clinical psychologist. He deals with real people and real issues and finds the causes of them. And he'll tell you empirically, empirical data backing it up, that there are certain issues, and he points them out. He rarely seems to even give his opinion about them. He mostly just points it out. And patriotism, Jordan Peterson rarely talks about patriotism. His views are not related to the United States or Canada, where he's from, anything like that. It's related to people and culture, and to stoke reactionary fires. And he said, so many times that that's obviously not his goal at all. His whole goal is to stop things like this. He wants to reduce the amount of chaos and reduce all these reactionary fires, as they call them here. And you can see where he's talking about his tweet about Ta-Nehisi Coates. And let's see. He tells them what they've always wanted to hear, that they are secretly great, the whole world is against them. And that's what they think that the villain tells people, is that they're secretly great and the world's against them. Which, call me crazy, but isn't that exactly what the left does to any minority group? That they're secretly the best, but the whole system is against them? That sounds kind of exactly like what the left tells anybody who's not a white male, that they're secretly great and the whole world is against them, and that they'll fight back if they want change. How many prominent Democrats said, harass conservatives where you see them? It's time to fight for change and all that. Versus Peterson, who actually tells people, yeah, you as a person, you do have worth as a person, and you need to get yourself in gear if you want to be a productive member of society. Never has told anybody to fight back, but instead to better yourself so that you can live a non-miserable existence. So, yeah, this is it shows you how dull and how uninformed the left really is if they think Peterson is in any way resembling the Red Skull. But yeah, and like I said, the funny thing is, this is almost exactly kind of how all these liberals sound. Except it's a Karl Marx's genius, the toxic masculinity trap. Biden versus Trump. Trump is chaos. And they tell you this exact same thing. Instead of nationalism, it's anti-nationalism. America's horrible. America's a terrible place, ruled by terrible people, and you, the little man who's getting stepped on, needs to step up and fight back against the system and bring about socialism and all this crap. But they'll never tell it to you that way. They play these games. Play these games with you. Because I think you're too stupid to realize what's going on. But that's it. It's Marvel going after Jordan Peterson. We'll see where this goes in the future. Again, terrible Captain America run. Getting worse by the issue. So, we'll see how it goes. Let me know what you guys think about this. And definitely remember to like, subscribe, and all that stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video.